Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto, and today guys we're taking another cheeky look at Cardano and specifically how a public figure has been getting into Cardano for the first time. So Chris, this is absolutely fantastic news, isn't it? And it's good to see, someone, actually taking to Twitter, social media, to talk about this fantastic investment that they've taken on board. And obviously kind of being a bit of an endorsement towards Cardano, obviously. But a bit of maybe an ambassador, maybe you could also say. But the good news about this is it's a double whammy, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, partly good news, because he also retweeted one of our videos on 5 reasons to invest in Cardano, which is, it's amazing for us, and hopefully, like, people will see that as amazing for the Cardano community or future community, because a lot of newbies are going to be getting into the space, aren't they, Nick, and potentially seeing our video, which is fantastic.
It really is. So guys, if you do find this video useful and informative, do go ahead and smash that like button. Chris really does appreciate it, as do I. And if you're new to the channel and you're not yet subscribed, do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you'll be kept up to date with all the various videos, live streams and premieres that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And of course, it wouldn't be a Cardano video, Chris, if we did not touch on the Cardano pool that we have.
Yeah, so literally as we speak, Nick, we've just minted our third block in like pretty much the same amount of days. So yeah, it's been remarkable. We'd like to thank everybody for delegating, but if you're not delegating your ADA at the moment, then it's a fantastic way to make a passive income. You can delegate to our pool using the ticker Cheek. You can do this from all of the normal everyday wallets, Deadliest, 𝗖𝗢𝗠𝗠𝗘𝗧𝗏 wallet, ADA Lite, and the Atomic wallet, for example. So it'd be great to have your minting blocks with us. It supports the channel, but it also supports Cardano in the effort to become more decentralized.
Absolutely. So let's jump on over to the desktop, Chris, and take a look at this fantastic piece of news. Get into the charts, take a look at what's going on. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do it.
So Simmons says he's added $300,000 of Cardano to his bag. So this is the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗪 guitarist, Simmons. He's basically taken to Twitter to, I guess, shill his crypto holdings, claiming to have now invested in Cardano. So the iconic bass player of rock band Kiss and recent recruit of Elon Musk's Dogecoin. I call it Dogecoin because it's so dodgy. But Dogecoin Army, right? Simmons has announced a 6-figure investment in Cardano ADA. So a much better investment than the dodgy coin, but nonetheless, it's fantastic to see someone of that particular, status actually entering into the crypto space and, being public about it. And Cardano is a very fine choice. So on February the 19th, Simmons revealed on Twitter that he had bought $300,000 worth of ADA, while emphasizing that he is not a financial analyst, a helpful disclaimer. The rock star said that he wanted to share project he believes in and was definitely not suggesting anyone else should buy it. And obviously you always do your own research, and I think that's kind of what he was kind of alluding to here as well. It's important to stay up to date, do your research, and decide. So Cardano founder and Ethereum co-founder Charles Hoskinson welcomed Simmons to the ADA community, invited him to reach out via private message if he needed any support. Simmons engaged with some of his followers, providing advice on where they can purchase the token and commenting, commending them for making Cardano's price go up. So I think that's probably more on him than anything else, but we'll have to see how that plays out. Obviously, Cardano is still undervalued in my opinion, Chris, and I think it's still got a long way to go. But there's some fantastic news lining up. So obviously, after professing his support for Bitcoin towards the peak of its 2017 bull rally, Simmons drifted off the crypto radar, I guess, and but returned with vengeance at the start of this month, claiming that he'd made investments in Dogecoin. And of course, I'm saying that, and I understand that it's not actually Dogecoin, it's Dogecoin, but we think if it's a dodgy coin, don't we, Chris?
Yeah, not so much that it's a scam, just that it was kind of set up as a bit of a joke, and It's just, we get asked quite a lot, would we invest? And the answer is no. We kind of look for projects that we kind of feel like have really good use cases and great teams behind them. And I don't think it kind of fits with our usual type of investment. So we're not going to change our investment strategies.
No, absolutely not. So over the past week, he's also revealed a sprat of investments, including buying Bitcoin several months ago, $300 worth of ETH. Yeah, cool. When it was trading for $300 and $300,000 of the Binance coin, which obviously is doing quite well. And I'm a bit skeptical on why or how it's doing so well, but it's doing well nonetheless. So in some of the crypto community appears skeptical of Simmons' newfound passion for Cardano, given his high-profile coin Shilling, with one Twitter user replying, "What happened to Dogecoin? Wasn't that your favorite coin some time ago or some days ago?" And ultimately, the thing with the Dogecoin is, and some of these are obviously public figures, they are able to buy them in large volumes. Everyone else then jumps in and then they drop their volume. Now, the difference here with Cardano is it is the world's most decentralized cryptocurrency. It's out there with huge amounts dedicated already. To the point where, you could buy a lot of it, a lot more than $300,000, and you're not really going to make too much difference to the price. Of course, he might be able to make a little bit or a quick buck off the best. He's got close to 1 million followers, so if he was inclined to do such a thing, he could make a quick buck off of it. And an example is, since this news came out, we've gone up from 92 cents up to over $1. So yeah, you could say you could make a quick buck that way, but nonetheless, I don't think that's going to be the case here. So Twitter user Rhino took expectation to Simmons' recent characterization of ADA as more affordable than Bitcoin for ordinary people, posing, "Say no to shitcoins, Gene." So Gene is fine. He can gamble. Most of y'all are poor and should be in Bitcoin. No, I totally disagree with that, but see 50K as unaffordable. So the thing with Bitcoin, guys, is it actually does no real use case in the real world, right? So other than the fact of it being a store of value, and ultimately with institutions, Chris, and correct me if you align to this or do not align, but ultimately with Bitcoin, at least my opinion, is we have a lot of institutions buying into Bitcoin. These are the likes of individuals that you may not want to trust, right? Because they are, or they have a bit of a sketchy past, shall we say, at best, right? If we think about the banking sector specifically. And do we think that they're going to hold that for a long period of time, or potentially even drop all of their holdings at some point in the future on the backs of all of the retail investors? So actually, I find Bitcoin more of a problem than something like Cardano, because Cardano, as it's being said here, it's for all the everyday people, right, that cannot afford Bitcoin. And I agree that's a fair statement to make, but also, Cardano and ADA solves a hell of a lot more problems than Bitcoin does. But in fact, Bitcoin probably causes more problems than it does anything else. So I much rather back a project that, has, how do you say it, Chris? Real world use case, has been built from the ground up to tackle some of the major issues that we have in those first generation blockchain projects. And I definitely would not be getting into Bitcoin at these particular prices. I think that's absolutely a daft thing to be saying. So yeah, that's my thoughts. What's your thoughts on that, Chris?
So, I get Bitcoin being a store of value. I kind of align to the fact that there's no real use case apart from the store of value. It's old tech. I just, there's hype around it. And I think Bill Gates has spoken about this a little bit. And I kind of align to some of the parts of what was said, in the respect that eventually, is there going to be all this hype around it? I don't think the banks and stuff are going to deliberately, jump out of Bitcoin like all of a sudden. I don't align to that side of things. But I just think that there's more gain to be had for the everyday individual or the retail investor, and this is just my opinion, in other projects that currently, it's achievable to buy large quantities. if we look at the likes of, and we don't give them that much airtime, but the likes of Anchor,
Yep.
the likes of One Harmony, VeChain, like, just to name, a few, they're less than 10 cent a coin. So for me, you can buy larger quantities and you're going to see potentially a much larger percentage gain on those, if those projects succeed in their goals and their aspirations, right? So yeah, I kind of feel like that would be a better investment.
Yeah, and
You know,
ultimately, Chris, I think it comes down to, and this is something that you saw a lot of the time with the GameStop scenario recently, right, with Wall Street bets and whatnot. People, saying, how can you justify a stock price of, $350 or whatever it was, right? And ultimately, it's worth whatever someone's going to be willing to pay for it. And the same thing applies to Bitcoin. It's only going to be worth whatever someone is willing to pay for it. So obviously, when we start talking about $1 million Bitcoin or 100,000 Bitcoin, 300,000 Bitcoin, whatever that may be, it's only going to be worth what someone's willing to pay for it. And ultimately, you're pricing out the retail investors. So the only people who would then be trading it amongst themselves are going to be those institutions, those banks, etc. Unless you're really wanting to get a fraction of it, which just seems a bit pointless because it's only going to be a store of value at that point. So you might want to do that, but that's the only thing I can see. And ultimately, it will reach a point, it will plateau, Chris. It will have to plateau where even those institutions won't necessarily be wanting to purchase it at such a price, right? So it's kind of going to eventually peter out, I feel. But nonetheless, it's doing great at the moment.
see, like I'm a bit like, yeah, it could do that, but they could also, find a use for it in, say, pensions and stuff like that, to keep the price, to keep the store of value tag. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel like there will be uses for it, and I think it will be utilized and kept as a store of value. I just think timing is so important, and we talked about timing on some of the live streams around like blockbusters and Netflix and all of that sort of stuff, right, where like broadband wasn't up to a good speed, so streaming wasn't that good, so blockbusters wouldn't buy Netflix, for example. They had an opportunity to, and look what happened to blockbusters, and look where Netflix ended up, right? I just kind of feel like, at the moment, you might 2x, 3x, possibly 4x your money buying Bitcoin at the moment, whereas you buy something like VeChain, you might 100x over a 5 or 10 year period, maybe more. And I just kind of feel like that is, not financial advice, it's just my opinion, but that is at this time a better investment, risk reward and all that sort of jazz, than Bitcoin. Not that I'm saying Bitcoin's bad by any stretch of the imagination. It isn't great for the environment either.
Fantastic. So we'll leave that talk there. Let us know your thoughts and opinions in the comments. But Chris, this is the double part of Gene Simmons. He actually tweeted out one of our videos. This is the 5 reasons to buy ADA, right? At least according to our opinions. The sleeping giant that is Cardano. We did this video a little while ago, and Gene Simmons, fantastic taste in channel, by the way, has basically tweeted out this fantastic video that we did, talking all about Cardano and our 5 reasons of why you might want to consider it in your investment portfolio. Obviously not financial advice, just our opinion on what we've seen when we looked at the Cardano quite some time ago. Obviously, our thoughts and opinions have advanced quite a bit. We've actually have our own delegation pool now, or staking pool, depending on how you want to refer to it as. And I think we probably need to revisit that video at some point and actually just enhance it, because there are so many more reasons than just 5. It's really hard to list them all. But it's fantastic that he's actually tweeted this out, because he got that kind of endorsement from Gene Simmons as well, which is fantastic. 214 retweets, 14 quotes, and 1,100 likes, which is really cool. So yeah, it's really good to see. And obviously we got a little bit of an update there with our pool, on the ticker cheek, all that kind of good stuff. Lots of comments, and it's really cool, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, like, buzzing. Like, it's always good to just get a shout out. Like, we're not the biggest channel in the world. I think we've got, almost 20,000 subscribers, which is remarkable because we haven't been on YouTube for a great length of time. And we're thankful for every single person that is supporting the channel, retweeting videos and liking content and all that sort of stuff, delegating to the pool. We're still pinching ourselves a lot, aren't we, Nick? How well it's going and stuff, and it is much appreciated.
It really is, guys. So hopefully you have found this useful, informative, maybe even a little entertaining with all that Bitcoin talk. And definitely do go ahead and smash that like button. Chris really appreciates it. I really appreciate it. I like to think that the whole cheeky crypto community really appreciates it. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you're not yet subscribed, do go ahead and subscribe. By subscribing, you'll be kept up to date with all the various videos, live streams, premieres that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And with all this said and done, we hope everyone has a fantastic day, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah, take care.